What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream? Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes. Tonight, Gammon joins the hunt.
Hey guys, it's Garami1 here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about Bloodborne. Now, I really love this game a lot, but there's a lot of flaws in this game. I think I'm more talking about untapped potential. Now, I think that with a bit of improvements, maybe a DLC, I think they could do a lot of great things from this game and make it more of a better Souls experience, more of a complete package. Because it's just that little bit off being the perfect game. Just that little bit off. And I'm going to offer my suggestions, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. And maybe, you know, put your comments down below, we can have a healthy discussion as to which works best. And who knows? Maybe FromSoft might hear from us, and voila, we have the perfect game that we've always wanted. Now, the first topic at hand I want to talk about is the lack of magic. Now, this is one of the only flaws in the game which I don't really understand why that is the case. Especially because NPCs have magic here. It's just a matter of transferring that to our character. And what I'm talking about is, for example, in Mensis and also in the boss enemies, Shadows of Yharnam, and also in the Chalice dungeons, they have fire spells, they have stun spells, they have soul spears. Why can't we have that? So the suggestion is, in the DLC, hopefully they can put it inside a covenant system, for example, or an area that we can pick up and we can use. That way it'll add a lot of replay value, and especially role-playing value, and also give us in PvP some interesting and fresh builds to play around with. Now, next thing I want to talk about is covenants. So, covenants now, in the design perspective, I have a feeling they wanted something simple. Maybe they were feeling that people don't like the grind of covenants. But I think they might have got that wrong, because people actually love it. Well, I do. Because in covenants, it's predictable. You do this, you co-op 10 times, you get these coins, you get your reward. You keep going, be it even 50 times, you get the reward. I mean, hell, I remember Dark Souls 2, in the blood arena or whatever, if you lost, you couldn't, it was really hard to get it, but people would still do it. It was still, in a sense, predictable. So, what I'm hoping for is, in the DLC, I think as a suggestion, is yes, give it back, have back the standing covenant, and this time you can give them spells, as I was talking about before, fire spells, acquire spells, and I'm thinking they should actually, instead of complete RNG for gems, give covenants for gems, different type of gems, so different covenants will give you different type of gems. I think that would be very, very good. It would be predictable, and it would really give some longevity to the game. And on top of it, you know, your standard covenants for cosplay things. So, armor, obviously, and maybe some weapons, if you really wanted to. Not that it really matters. Maybe another shield, you know, a better looking shield. Okay, another flaw of the game that I'm finding huge is the invasion in the co-op mechanic. So again, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and let's talk about why they may have decided something like that. So, I'm thinking it's more casual, obviously. Because to be honest, Bloodborne at the first stage, first 5 to 10 hours of the game, I personally felt it was a lot harder than Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 and even Demon Souls. I find Bloodborne was the hardest for me. Now, the best thing about this current system is that you don't have to worry about being invaded, and you know, no one's going to come along with a plus 27% gem build and just destroy you, right? And you don't have to worry about wasting all the blood vials and stuff. So another good thing about the current system is, yeah, you can get a summon while you're doing other stuff. You don't have to sit there and wait for summon signs to pop up. And same thing, you know, you could actually be in a special location where you know, oh, I can open up this shortcut for this person that's going to summon me. So maybe that's what they wanted. And they thought, hey, it sounds pretty good on paper. But the worst thing is, it's not. It's actually really bad. So here's my suggestion, right? Because right now, as it stands, there's not enough invasions, there's not enough summons, and sometimes it's extremely hard to find each other. Like in Chalice Dungeons, what happens is, I'll be on the other side of the map being summoned in, and I'll have to kill everything before I get to him. I mean, co-op was meant to be playing the game together. So, here's my suggestion. Number 1. In New Game Plus, Bell Maidens should be everywhere. It's New Game Plus. There, quite frankly, there's no excuses. No need to hold your hand anymore. New Game Plus, Bell Maidens are everywhere. The second suggestion I'm thinking is, if you have over 5 insight, yep, Bell Maidens are there. God damn, you should use the insight, you know, so then that way it's going to promote more co-op, it's going to have more chances of getting invasions in, it's going to be really fun. And if they can't hack it, well, go offline. Or just as I said, well, have less than 5 insight. Doesn't really matter, really. And even if you had 5 insight and you died, there would be an invader timer as the old games had anyway. So I think that should be a very fair mechanic that they should implement into the game. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And obviously, yeah, if you get summoned, please, for the love of God, yeah, please be either at the boss gate next to me, or at the spawn point, the lamp would be really good. Okay, next thing let's talk about is the Chalice Dungeons. So with Chalice Dungeons, as a devil advocate, I think it's great. I mean, you can have fresh content all the time. It's great for co-op. You can kill bosses together, and it's going to be literally random invasions where no one knows what's in the next room, and it'd be really fun. You know, in concept, it's great. I mean, a lot of us spent hours maybe just killing a single boss back then in Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 2. But the problem is, they've added in this thing called loot. Now, what this did is that basically it made everything a pathetic grind. Everything. And everything was completely RNG as well with the loot, which really sucked. So what happens then is, in PvE, if it's PvE, random loot is no problem. It's great, it's fine. But in PvP, we need something predictable. So this is what I'm thinking. So in terms of improvements, just have depth 5 dungeons, or have it scale to your level. Make sure that there is no ritual materials, because it's a waste of time. And also make sure it's a predictable outcome by having, instead of having gem drops, have covenant drops, and then have the covenant give you the gems. And please, again, the co-op thing, please spawn next to me, the lamp, or the boss gate. So those are my suggestions. I might have another series later on this one and next other things, but please post your comments below. Have a nice one.